Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tired Old Queen at the Movies, starring Mr. Steve Hayes. Let's go see our buddy.
Oh, Johnny, what a surprise. Well, not really a surprise. I mean, actually, come in. Tired old queen at the movie, tired, very tired, oh, very old, very queenie, very. Oh, Johnny, it's Oscar time at Tired Old Queen at the Movies. And I chose one of my favorite Oscar-winning movies from the 1950s, 1951's A Streetcar Named Desire, starring Marlon Brando, Vivien Leigh, Karl Malden, Kim Hunter, and directed by Elia Kazan. Now, this had been taken from a very famous play by Tennessee Williams, which had been done with that cast, with the exception of Vivien Leigh, on Broadway. And on Broadway, it was with Jessica Tandy. When they went to make the film version of it, though, they needed more of a marquee name. Brando was not a big star then. He was an unknown. This was only his second movie. So Vivien Leigh had done it in London, and Laurence Olivier had directed her, so they brought her over. And she arrives destitute to stay for an indefinite visit with her sister and his volatile husband.
You must be Stanley. I'm Blanche.
Oh, you're still sister.
Vivien Leigh, in the 11 years since Gone with the Wind, had gone through a lot of turmoil.
Your sister hasn't turned into a drunkard. She's just all shaken up and hot and dirty and tired. Waiter!
Marlon Brando had become an instant sexual phenomenon with Streetcar Named Desire. He was so raw and so sexy and so powerful.
Here you are.
Well, you know, you gotta be careful. You're sitting around and damn thing gets you cold. Especially when you've been exercising hard like Bowling is.
Jessica Tandy was really frustrated when they did it on Broadway because eventually it became obvious that everybody was drawn to Stanley.
Rain forever.
Well, Vivien Leigh was determined. She had done Shakespeare, she had done her stuff, and she was determined that she was not going to be outdone by him.
What are you thinking of? What's in the back of that little boy's mind of yours?
As a result, their natural clash, they liked each other, but their natural clash of competitiveness in this came through.
My, but you have an impressive judicial air.
You know, if I didn't know that you was my wife's sister, I would get ideas about you.
She's what?
Don't play so dumb, you know what.
And she has a very florid way of talking. She's very, very educated. She's very genteel. She was brought up in another time. And he is just as crass and sexual as they come.
Traveling wears me out.
Well, take it easy. Not those cats.
She gets an attraction for one of his guys that he plays cards with, played by Karl Malden, who's kind of a big galoof.
I mean, a man with a heavy build has to be careful of what he puts on him so he don't look too clumsy.
Who lives with his mother, and he's just sort of taken with her because he's never seen anything like her before. And she weaves a spell. She's got this whole thing, you're charming, you're big, but you're muscular, that's all.
You're not the delicate type. You have a massive bone structure and a very imposing physique.
I thank you.
I want light, I want music, I don't, turn the light down, I want magic, that's what I want magic. And all the time you just feel that she is one hair away from having a complete nervous collapse.
I'm sorry. I must have lost my head for a moment. Everyone has something they won't let others touch because of their intimate nature.
And Stanley is not about to have her rule his wife or come into his world, and he's got to get rid of her.
Listen to what Huey Long said, that every man's a king, and I'm the king around here. And don't you forget it.
And he decides the only way to get rid of her is to do the one thing that she's most repulsed at, to come at her like a big old man.
You know that I've been on to you from the start, and not once did you pull the wool over this boy's eyes. You come in here and you sprinkle the place with powder and you spray perfume and you stick a paper lantern over the light bulb, and lo and behold, the place is turning to Egypt, and you are the queen of the Nile, sitting on your throne, swilling down my liquor, and you know what I say? Ha ha!
Kim Hunter and Marlon Brando have this scene in which they've had an argument and she's gone upstairs. It's almost choreographed like a dance. Alex North wrote this erotic score for this movie.
I wouldn't mix in this.
He's standing at the bottom of the stairs with his t-shirt torn, and he goes,
Hey, Stella!
and she comes down the staircase. He's filled with remorse because he beat her up, sinks to his knees. And she bends over his back and tears up his bare back, and he carries her into the bedroom. And then she wakes up in the morning and she's, all fresh the next morning from having a fun night with Stanley. It is so hot.
You don't ever leave me, baby.
It's got that poetic language that only Tennessee Williams could write. Nobody ever matched him in terms of his poetry. And it's got one of the great performances on film of Vivien Leigh and Marlon Brando. Vivien Leigh won the Academy Award for this, and deservedly. Kim Hunter won the Academy Award. Karl Malden won the Academy Award. Brando did not. They gave the Oscar to Humphrey Bogart for The African Queen that year. And he won it 2 years later for On the Waterfront, which was another unforgettable performance. But this one, you will never forget.
You put that howling down there and go to bed.
Joyce, I want my clothes down here.
Marlon Brando, Vivien Leigh, Karl Malden, Kim Hunter, and Elia Kazan's incredible production of Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire. Happy Oscars.
Let's all go to the lobby.
A Streetcar Named Desire with Marlon Brando, Vivien Leigh, Karl Malden, and someone else who won the Oscar. Just